Rent got too expensive, had to leave LA. So I got into my car and I went away to the big estate, playing poker every day, going all in with these fish like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Real quickly, you guys, we have a sponsor for this video, HelloFresh. They heard I'm related to Wolfgang Puck, wanted to send me some meal kits to try for myself. I told them don't bother unless there's some freebies for my viewers, and they said sure, so watch the end for your free meals. It's a super cool subscription service that makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. They have 50 weekly menu items to choose from, and once you pick the ones you want, they send it straight to your door right from the farm in under 1 week for peak freshness. They only send you the ingredients you need for those meals, thereby cutting down on food waste and saving you money. I thought I would do some home cooking for my family over the holidays. Check out how easy and fun this spiced chicken and apricot sauce was to make. The food was delicious, and I loved how simple it was to make. After playing a long session of poker, I usually just grab fast food on the way home, but with how simple and convenient this was, I'm gonna try to make it my New Year's goal to eat healthier and save money too. Once again, big shout out to my sponsor, HelloFresh. You guys making a lot of jokes that I'm Wolfgang Puck's grandson. Well, now I proved it. If you guys want to get some food for yourself, I got a code down below. Go to HelloFresh.com, Wolfgang16. What will that get you? 16 free meals. So when you're running bad on the tables, you can run good in the kitchen. Let's get into the video. Let's go. Our last video was in New Orleans, and I was planning on heading east into Florida until I got a text from Jake telling me to come up north to Baton Rouge for a home game with his fraternity buddies. Not going to pass that opportunity up, and on top of it, LSU is playing Arkansas. Check out the stadium. Marcelo and I buy tickets to the game, but immediately finesse our way up the elevator into the club level box seats, which comes with all you can eat perks. I loaded up on the gumbo and then finished it off with an ice cream sandwich. We make our way to some empty seats just in time to see LSU score. The band did a cool tribute to the armed forces at halftime, but then we're on the move again down to the student section to see the last few minutes of the game. Arkansas ultimately came out on top, but the night doesn't end there. Someone leaves a gate open to the field, so of course I seize the moment, and Marcelo's right behind me. We run all the way over to the far corner where Arkansas is celebrating with their fans. Check it out. What's up, you guys? Back with another video from LSU, the middle of the field. Do we have a press pass? I don't think so. Me and Marcelo just freaking sneaked onto the field. So cool! We then make our way to midfield and hang out by the Tiger logo for a while. We head out of the stadium right over to Fred's. After having a few drinks, we call it a night. The next day we have lunch with Jake at the Francis. I get the ribeye po' boy. We then head over to his buddy's spot to play some cards. We're into the 1-2 game for $500. It's a $100 to uncapped buy-in. First into the night, we look down at King 10 offsuit from the cutoff. 2 limps to me, and I raise it up to $21. The button and 2 limpers put in the call, and we're off to a flop 4 ways, which comes Ace Queen 8 with 2 diamonds. When the action checks to me, I decide to go for a c-bet here for $30. Everyone folds, and we're going to take down the first hand of the night, which brings us to the second one where we look down at Queen 10 of hearts, and I raise it up to $20 over a $5 straddle. The button and the big blind both find a call, so going 3 ways to the flop, which gives us top pair and a front door flush draw, Queen 7-3 with 2 hearts. Jake checks it over to me. I'm in between 2 opponents, so I'm always going to be checking it over to the button. He checks behind, and the turn comes the King of spades. spades. Jake in the big blind leads out for $25. I'm going to be putting in the call here. I could go for a raise, although if he has a king, he's probably not going to be folding. It's probably better just to be flat calling here, seeing what the button's going to do. The button decides to put in the call for $25 as well, so we're still 3 ways to the river. River comes gin for us. It's the 8 of hearts. If we're behind any king on the turn, we're behind no more. Jake leads out for $50 again, and the action's on me. Never going to be calling here. I'm always going to be going for the raise on an unpaired board. However, the button only has $44 behind, so I'm really only playing against Jake at this point. For that reason, I don't really think he's going to have any heart flushes here. If anything, he has 1 or maybe a 2 pair, like a king queen type of hand. So I go for a small raise here to $110, just looking to get value from any king. The button calls for less. He puts in his 44 remaining chips, and Jake turns over a king queen before folding his cards face up. Great fold by Jake there. We're going to be better than him, but we're not better than the button. When he turns over ace jack of hearts, he's going to scoop down that pot. Pretty unfortunate for us that our side bot against Jake was just like $12. Fortunately, the button had the ace high flush, and he's going to take down that nearly $400 pot. Next hand, I'm under the gun, and I raise it up to $15 with ace king offsuit. We get 3 calls, and the action's on my buddy Marcelo on the button, and he goes for the 3-bet to $50. It folds through the blinds all the way over to me. The decision is on me. Do I go for the 4-bet or do I just flat call out of position? I don't want to play out of position against Marsh in this spot, so I just decided to rip it all in for $400. There was 3 callers in between me and him, so there's a good amount of dead money out there. Action folds back around to Marcelo. He's hemming and hawing. I turn over the king of clubs, and he turns over a king as well. It's a friendly home game with cool vibes, and we're playing against friends, so I'm always willing to turn over some cards and have some fun. Marcelo turns over the king of hearts before folding his cards, but we're going to take down that pot and win around $100 pre-flop. After hitting quads in that double board PLO bomb pot, I look down at pocket 10s from the hijack and I raise it up to $25 over a straddle and 1 caller. My $25 raise gets 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways to the flop, which comes 10, 9, 6. Bang! We flop top set. 2 clubs on board, some straight possibilities, so I lead out for $35 when the action checks to me. Only the button puts in the call, so we're going heads up to the turn. With 170 in the pot, the turn comes a jack of diamonds. Not exactly the best card, but not the worst card as well. 170 out there. I go a little bit over half pot for $90, and the button looks me up for a second time here, so we're off to the river. River comes the deuce of clubs. Not a great card. Front door flush draw gets there, but I'm not going to be slowing down and checking it over to him. If he has a set, if he has 2 pairs, he needs to pay me off here for a 3rd street of value. If I get raised, it's a pretty easy fold. I'm going to be behind a flush or a straight. I lead out for $165. The opponent goes into the tank, which we like to see. Not getting snapped off here with a flush is great news already. Ultimately though, he finds a fold, but we're going to take down that $350 pot, and we're up over $250 on the session. $700 now in our stack. I look down at ace 10 offsuit and I raise it up to $15. We get 1 caller, so going heads up to the flop with $33 in the pot, which gives us top pair. Comes ace 7-5, monotone to the clubs. I check it over to middle position and he checks behind, which brings the jack of spades on the turn. When I check the flop and he checks behind, I'm pretty confident I have the best hand now. I go for a bet for $20, looking to get value from any 1 pair or 1 club type holding. Middle position looks me up for $20, which brings in the deuce of spades on the river. Gonna be going for value. 1 more street here. I bet out for $30. Middle position finds a call. I turn over my cards pretty confidently. He mucks his cards, and we're gonna take down that $133 pot with 1 pair. Next hand, ace 4 of hearts from the big blind. 1 limp to middle position, who raises it up to $15. I put in the call, and the limper does as well, so going 3 ways to the flop. Flop's good for us again. It gives us top pair, ace 3-8 rainbow. Action checks over to middle position, who bets out for $15. Only I put in the call, so we're heads up to the turn. When the turn comes the 7 of spades, not going to be leading out into the opponent, so I check it over to him for a second time. For a second time, he bets out for $15. Not going to be raising him here. I stick in 3 red chips and we're off to the river. River comes the 5 of hearts, connecting the board a little bit more, although we do block some of the straights, being 2-4 and 4-6, having the 4 of hearts in my hand. Once again, not going to be leading into the opponent here. If he's going to go for another bet here, it puts us in a weird situation. He decides better of it and checks behind. That that means I'm probably good. I confidently turn over my pair of aces. He shows pocket jacks. The jiggities are no good, sir. We're going to take down that over $100 pot. Bears just scored, baby. Let's go!
Sir.
Bears to the Super Bowl this year?
We got into like twice.
Not this year, not this year.
What the hell? You're supposed to say yes.
But yeah, about once a week.
These next two hands are definitely the hands of the session, so buckle your seatbelts. We look down at ace-queen offsuit from the small blind. Jake in the cutoff raises it up to $20. The button puts in the call. Ace-queen offsuit from the small blind is definitely a premium in this spot. Gonna be going for a raise here, but I need to make it large considering I'll be out of position if anybody puts in the call. I pop it up to $85. Only the button puts in the call, our buddy that roots for the Bears. So we're gonna go heads up to the flop here, out of position in a nearly $200 pot, which gives us top pair, ace deuce 4 with 2 spades. I bet out for a quarter of the pot, $45, and that induces a raise from the button who pops it up to $150. Obviously, I'm never folding here, but could I consider going for a re-raise? A re-raise would fold out all of his bluffs, but it could get value from any of his draws, having straight or flush possibilities. I think a call is probably the best decision here. We can root against the spade coming on the turn and then call him down if the flush does not come in. So I put in the additional $105 and we're off to the turn. When the turn brings in the 6 of hearts, nothing for me to do other than check over to the raiser. He's on the button and he covers me and he goes all in for $450 effective. It's a nearly pot-sized bet here, which definitely puts me in a weird spot. However, I'm definitely at the top of my range here, considering I also have queens, kings, some worse aces as well. If I'm folding the top of my range here, I'm definitely making a huge mistake. So ultimately, I say, if you got me, you're good, sir, and I start putting my chips into the middle. We agree to run it out twice. It's a friendly game here, and the first board comes the 3 of diamonds, hoping for no spade on the river, and that's exactly what doesn't come. It comes the king of diamonds. He says I'm good, so I confidently turn over my hand. Not going to be slow rolling anyone here at the table. He mucks his cards, and we're going to take down that nearly $1,400 pot with our pair of aces. Running well on the session, we're up nearly $900 so far. That brings us over to the second biggest hand of the night. We look down at ace-jack from the small blind. The $20 straddle is on, and there's 2 calls over to me. Considering I'm going to be out of position again, ace-jack is definitely a strong hand. Considering no one's come in for a raise just yet, I pop it up to $85. The straddler puts in the call. That brings in Jake from the cutoff, who calls as well, and we're going 3 ways to the flop. $275 in the middle. It comes king 10-3 rainbow. We have a gutter to Broadway, but that's about it. The action's on me, and I bet $75. Surprisingly, the straddler puts in the call. Jake does as well with 3 green chips, and we're off still 3 ways to the turn. Turn's a great card for us. We now have some showdown value with a pair of aces. It comes the ace of hearts. Action's on me again. In hindsight, I think a bet is probably the best decision, but in the moment, I decided to check. The straddler checks and Jake does as well, so we're going to see a free river card, which comes a harmless 4 of spades. When I check the turn, I think it's important to go for a second street of value here on the river. I'll probably have the best hand. $500 out there, and I go for a quarter size of the pot, $125. Just looking to get value from any king, maybe a 10 that just doesn't believe us. Straddler pretty quickly gets out of the way, and the action's back over to Jake. He goes into the tank for a while and then turns over a king. That's exactly the type of hand we want to get value from here. So we're happy to know that he didn't just fold and he's thinking about paying us off here for $125 more. He thinks about it for another 10 seconds before flipping in a white chip. I turn over my ace of clubs and he taps his cards on the table. He's not going to show us his other card, but he pays us off for $124 more, and we scoop that $750 pot. Nice hand, Jake.
Ooh, check on the turn was good. I'll get that.
I thought someone was going to bet it.
No, I was gonna.
$17.50 now in our stack, and we look down at queen jack offsuit from the button. Few limps to me, and I raise it up to $15, and I get 5 callers here. No shortage of action at LSU. We're going 6 ways to the flop. Flop comes ace king 3 rainbow. We just have a gutter to Broadway again. When the action checks over to me, the initial raiser, I decide to check behind and take a free card. Turn comes the 10 of diamonds. Bang! We turn the straight. Life's pretty good here in Baton Rouge. We've been eating good. We've been running well at the table, and the under the gun now leads out for $30. How could it get any better? Under the gun leads out for $30, and the action folds over to me. I go for the min raise to $60 here, just looking to spice things up, not trying to have him fold. For $30 more, he can't find a fold and he puts in the call and we're off to the river, which comes a 4 of spades. Shouldn't change too much and he checks it over to me. He has around $60 left in his stack and I want to play for all of it. I put all of it in the middle and put the mud kip as well. Unfortunately though, he finds a fold. That's going to wrap up our night. We take down that $195 pot. Look at our chip stack. Right, you guys, that wraps up this session here from Baton Rouge with the homies. Only a few survived. We got into that game for 500, did not have to rebuy in for any additional money. Out for 1887, profit of 1387 on the night. Really cool people, really good vibes. I'd like to say if you're in the area, come check it out, but this is a private game, so you're not allowed to come. But as always, good luck on the felts if you find yourself there in the near future. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. If you have any friends who have not seen my content yet, please share it with them. We're trying to make a push to 30K. As always, good luck on the felt. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace! Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.